Thunderbolt 5 hardware is still relatively rare, partly because every Thunderbolt 5 device must go through Intel's certification process to ensure it meets the platform's performance and compatibility standards. That makes every new certified product in this category interesting, and this Wavlink Thunderbolt 5 dock packs high-speed connectivity, multi-monitor support, strong charging capabilities, and even integrated storage expansion into a single device. That sounds impressive, but the real question is whether those features make a difference once you start using it every day. So let's take a closer look and see what this dock gets right. So after opening the box, we immediately realized this thing was bigger than expected. Not huge, but definitely larger and heavier than the average USB-C dock. And honestly, that first impression continued as we started pulling everything out. Alongside the dock itself, Wavlink includes the Thunderbolt 5 cable, the external power brick, power cable, documentation, and a few small extras for setup. The included Thunderbolt 5 cable is worth mentioning because most people probably do not already have one lying around. Then we finally picked up the dock itself, and this is where the experience changed from new accessory to, okay, this feels like workstation hardware. The aluminum shell feels dense, and there is a surprising amount of weight here. And because of that weight, it stays planted on the desk when you start connecting cables. And at bottoms, there's these foot pads, so it stays stable on the source. And this is the built-in SSD enclosure, which supports M-key NVMe SSDs. Now, the vents will catch your attention immediately. Here, the entire top section has this ventilated design, and the sides continue that theme. And unlike many docks that rely entirely on passive cooling, this one uses a built-in fan with smart thermal management. During heavy use with displays, storage, and peripherals connected simultaneously, the dock remained surprisingly quiet. You rarely notice it working, which is exactly how a cooling system should behave. So before connecting anything, we spent some time looking around the dock itself. And honestly, this is one of those products where the port layout tells you exactly how it is supposed to be used. Starting at the back, you have the connections that will probably stay plugged in all the time. There is the power input, an Ethernet port, and these two USB-A ports runs at 10 gigabits per second. And these two are the Thunderbolt 5 downstream ports. These are the connections most people leave plugged in permanently, so the rear layout keeps cable management tidy. Then moving to the front, things become much more user-focused. The first thing you see is the audio combo jack. Right beside that are both SD and micro SD card readers. And honestly, for anyone working with cameras, drones, action cameras, or content creation gear, having both formats available on the front feels convenient. Just insert the card and start transferring files. Next to those are two more USB-A ports. Then comes the most important port on the entire dock, the Thunderbolt 5 host connection. This is the cable that goes to your laptop. And honestly, having the host connection on the front feels convenient if you regularly dock and undock your machine throughout the day, since you do not have to reach behind the dock every time. And through that single connection, the dock can handle displays, storage, networking, peripherals, and up to 140 watts of charging. There is another front-facing Thunderbolt 5 port. This one supports 80 gigabits per second data transfer and up to 30 watts of charging. Having that port on the front makes temporary connections much easier. Then finally, there is the power button. Now let's talk displays. How the Thunderbolt 5 shows its potential. On Windows systems with Thunderbolt 5, this dock can support configurations up to triple 4K at 144 Hz, dual 8K at 60 Hz, or even a single 8K display at 144 Hz. And thanks to Thunderbolt 5's expanded bandwidth, up to 120 gigabits per second for display workloads, it has plenty of headroom for demanding multi-monitor setups. If you are a video editor, developer, trader, designer, or someone who works across multiple windows all day, the dock has enough display bandwidth to support very demanding setups. You simply connect the monitors and get to work. Mac users should know there are platform limitations. The dock supports dual external displays on many modern M-Series Pro and Mac systems, but Mac OS still handles displays differently from Windows. So before buying, it is worth checking what your specific Mac model supports. Charging performance is another area where this dock feels well thought out. During testing, a standard USB-C connection delivered around 15 watts, while the front Thunderbolt port increased that to 30 watts for accessories and smaller devices. Then there is the dedicated Thunderbolt host port, which can provide up to 140 watts of power delivery. That is enough to properly power larger machines like a MacBook Pro Max. Next, let's talk about something content creators will appreciate: the UHS 2SD and micro SD card reader. This supports speeds up to 312 megabytes per second, and in actual use, it feels quick. Large photo libraries and 4K footage transfer quickly, and perhaps more importantly, it feels comparable to the card readers built into premium laptops. We never felt like we were compromising by using the dock. Also included is a built-in SSD enclosure, which is uncommon on docking stations. It supports PCIe Gen 4x4 M.2 NVMe SSDs and is rated for speeds up to 6,000 megabytes per second. Actual transfer performance will depend on the SSD you install and your overall system configuration, but it gives you the flexibility to add high-speed storage directly into the dock rather than relying on another external drive. Another feature that often gets overlooked is Ethernet, and this is a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port. Now, depending on your internet plan, you may never fully use that speed. But for local file transfers, network storage, and consistent connectivity, wired networking still has advantages. If your work depends on cloud storage, large downloads, remote servers, or video meetings, having reliable wired networking is always nice. So after spending time with the Wavlink Thunderbolt 5 docking station, this feels less like a collection of ports and more like a central command center for a modern desk setup. The build quality feels premium, the port selection is practical, the charging capability is excellent, and the integrated SSD enclosure adds flexibility that most docks simply do not offer. Combined with strong display support and effective cooling, it feels built for demanding workflows. And perhaps most importantly, it behaves reliably once everything is connected. If your setup includes multiple displays, external storage, cameras, wired networking, and a laptop that rarely stays disconnected from your desk, this dock can replace a surprising amount of cable clutter with one connection. Thunderbolt 5 may still be early, and many users can continue using Thunderbolt 4 without issue. For everyday peripherals and standard dual monitor setups, Thunderbolt 4 remains an excellent solution. Where Thunderbolt 5 starts to separate itself is with its significantly higher bandwidth, support for more demanding display configurations, faster storage potential, and additional headroom for future high-performance devices. However, if you are building a workstation for the next several years, the Wavlink PuriDock feels like a very capable foundation to build around. That was all. Thanks for watching. If you found it helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more videos, and don't forget to share your experience in the comments.